Good morning, everyone. I said, good morning, everyone. The other day, I overheard my parents talk about me to their friends. We're so proud of him, they said. But it wasn't always like this. I grew up on a small farm in Guangzhou, China. My parents gave up everything, their family, their friends, because they wanted a different life for me. When I was 7, we came to America. We landed at SFO carrying, those red, white, and blue nylon bags full of our belongings. At first, we lived at my aunt's family in East Oakland. There were 8 of us in a 1-bedroom apartment. I remember staying up late at night with my mom, using a dictionary to translate my picture book assignments word for word. Man, only we had Google Translate back then. My parents worked multiple jobs, both in restaurants and factories. Once my sister was born, they saved up every single penny they had to buy our own home in West Oakland. The walls of our house would often shake by the police sirens, cars driving by with loud bass systems, and gunshots. In middle school, we were asked what we wanted to be when we grow up. I dreamed of becoming an inventor, but my teacher crushed it. She told me people don't really do that anymore without much explanation, and I was devastated. Over time, I started skipping class and hanging out with kids who were in a gang. I wanted to fit in, and they helped me feel safe. In 7th grade, I was arrested for fighting. When my parents came to bail me out, I was certain they would yell at me, but the entire ride home was dead silent. I could just see and sense the disappointment in their face. I was determined to change. A year later, college track came to my middle school. They stood in front of my class and said that if we were committed, they would help us get to and through college. Yeah, I signed up. At that point, though, my GPA was below a 2.0. My English teacher had told me I would not get into a top college. But when my college track mentor found out about my grades, she said, "Chang, we know you're smarter than this." It was the first time when someone pushed me to do more. I started going to tutoring all the time, even on my Friday nights, and taking as many AP and honor classes as I could. And by the time I graduated, my GPA was a 4.83. I applied to 9 colleges and a bunch of scholarships. I heard back from my CSUs first. I thought to myself, yes, got into my safeties. And then slowly came the UCs, Santa Cruz, UCLA. I was like, oh, snaps, that's pretty cool. And then UC Berkeley came, and I was like, oh, snaps, that's really cool. And then Stanford came in, and I was speechless. A few weeks later, I got a huge envelope in the mail. It was like this big, yay big. It was from the Gates Millennium Scholarship, a full ride to any college and funding through the grad school of my choice. And it also happens to be my dad's birthday that day. I said, "Happy birthday, Dad. We're going to college for free." The decision between UC Berkeley and Stanford was really hard. My mentors and I talked about it a lot, and ultimately, I decided that for a first-generation college student like me, it was important to surround myself with as many students like me as possible. And so I chose UC Berkeley. Go Bears. At first, I struggled tremendously. I signed up for classes in both computer science and electrical engineering. A lot of my peers, they started coding when they're in the 7th grade, but I'd never done that before. I still remember my first assignment. My friends finished it in 30 minutes, and I was still coding and trying to figure it out 6 hours later. There were so many times when I wanted to quit, but every single time, college track was there to reassure me. On top of academic support, they helped me find my first internship at a tech company in SF. I worked down the street somewhere around here. In 2016, I became the first person in my family to graduate from college. It was an incredible feeling. My parents arranged to have professional photos taken of us. My dad even printed it on canvas and hung it in the living room. It's the first thing people see when they walk into our house. And today, I build websites for company and proudly serve as the alumni strategy consultant for College Track. My parents only work one job now because I could help support the family. My younger sister is in College Track, and I believe she's way smarter than me. A few years ago, I built my own app. It's almost like a Uber, like Uber Eats before its time. I went through an incubator program that taught me how to take an idea and turn it into something tangible. And now, my goal is to develop tech tools to help students from disadvantaged backgrounds learn better. Looks like I'm an inventor after all. I would like to thank my parents. They're in table 13 today. Mom and Dad, I couldn't have done any of this without your sacrifice and support. Sorry. And thanks to all of you. Thank you for believing in me and kids like me. But I hope in the future that my story isn't one of beating the odds. It should be the norm. Every student deserves the opportunity that I had. Thank you.